Everyone, we're back with the Performance Matters podcast. Obviously, I'm your host, Matrix. We're here today with former Olympian Evan MacDonald, also multi-time CIS champion at Brock University, recently inducted into the Brock Badgers Hall of Fame. Your speech was actually quite good. I wasn't expecting a speech that good out of you. I think you actually pieced everything. I think it was like because of like I love wrestling or something. I don't know what it was, but you kind of like tied all that together, and I was like, "Fuck, that was smart." I didn't think you were going to do that. That was
Yeah.
actually really good English. Yeah, so we're going to dive right in. But first off, a shout out to our sponsor, Pete Method Photography. He is the premier sportsographer in the Niagara region. So if you guys want action shots or anything local, support local, you can reach him, www.petemethodphotography.com or petemethodphotography@gmail.com if you want to get in touch. So support local. We're all about that shit. All right, Evan, I want to go through like the early years first. So why wrestling?
Oh man, I'm sure everybody would have a hard time answering that question for whatever path they took, where they've sacrificed such a big chunk of their life for it. It's circumstance. Obviously, I was smaller, right? So I was always like the runt kind of thing. My brother was bigger. My brother played football. He played in the CFL. So I always had a big brother that I was his tackling dummy, and
Yeah, you're
we,
the pylon.
oh yeah, he would
You're the
drag me
fucking
out into the
pylon.
backyard and run me over, and I was always a pretty active participant in getting my ass kicked, so my brother could have a training dummy. So it just made me tough, and I spent the bulk of my life competing with bigger people, whether it's hockey or football. And then in grade 10, I went to a school that had wrestling, and it was the weirdest thing to do a sport where I competed with people my size.
Yeah.
And I was just ragdolling people my size because I was just so used to these sports where I was so small and did well in those sports, but I was small for them. And then it was just like this thing where I was like, man, this is crazy competing with people the same size as me. It almost felt like unfair, right?
It's
So
cheating. All things equal, this is cheating.
yeah,
All things equal is fucking cheating.
yeah.
So
So that was a big part, and then just early success in the sport of wrestling, and then you fall in love with having some success, and then kind of went from there, right?
oh, okay, so like high school was like the pinnacle. So
Yeah, I didn't
then
start till grade 10. Like most people I would compete against at
yeah,
the Worlds or Olympics or whatever started wrestling when they were, kids. Like
yeah.
everybody I talked to from Russia or the US, Iran, like our main competitors, those guys start when they're like 4 years old,
Oh yeah, it's a different
right?
lifestyle over
Yeah.
there.
And so, yeah, I started pretty late, but I wasn't exposed to it till grade 10.
Yeah, really. Unless they're like hockey in Canada, like, there's not really many academies. Like there's academies for shit
Yeah.
in different countries that are top of the world, obviously. Okay, so you got addicted to success. So then, walk me through the transition. Why Brock? What made you go there? Like, walk me through all those decisions. Okay, I'm chasing success now. Where am I going to go? Why here?
Uh, yeah, like that one was more like at the time that I was wrestling, I had won OFSA, and then all the main schools start approaching you to go to their school, and I found that there was Brock, Montreal, and in Vancouver at Burnaby Mountain were like the three spots. Those were kind
Yeah,
of the choices, um, and at the time I was living in Ottawa, so it was just kind of the easiest one. I had gone to practices at Brock and really liked what they were doing there. Marty Calder was the coach. He was definitely a hard ass, and I liked the style of coaching. So it was pretty easy decision for me, and I like the guys too. Like
yeah.
you go to Brock, and they did a pretty good job of recruiting back then. I don't know what they do now, but they
I don't
took
know
us
what
out.
they do
They
now.
took us out to the bar, and when you're 19 and you come to university and they take you out and they treat you well. It was kind of like that movie, The Program, where they treat the recruits like rock stars, and then
Yeah.
and then when you show up, no one's there.
Yo,
Nobody.
fuck.
They treat you like shit. They just start beating the piss out of you when you show up.
Yeah, it's. I remember. I don't think I even got recruited to Brock. I was talking to Javon last time he was on. I think I got recruited to like Lakehead or Western or Guelph or whatever. And then Marty didn't fucking look at me. Like it was one of those you're almost like asking, can I come out to a practice kind of see if I even like what we're doing? I remember just first practice walking in the room, I see like I think it was like Ryan Johnson just doing like madman sprints up and down the room for no reason. Two guys just starting to like play wrestle, whatever the fuck they're doing. And all of a sudden like fist fights broke out, and I was like, damn, this is some fucking intense shit. I like this. These
Yeah.
motherfuckers are dogs. I love this shit. It was like a different. I don't know how it is now, but it was definitely a different atmosphere. But it was a successful atmosphere. Um, okay, so then your time at Brock. When did you win that? When was your first nationals that you won?
Uh, University or senior nationals or junior
Let's go
nationals?
university national. That's always the varsity thing now, right?
Yeah. So university would have been. I didn't wrestle my first year there because I had to get my grades up to get into school.
Nice.
Because I had taken
Nice.
back then you take like a path to go to college or a path to go to university, and my grades probably weren't even good enough for the path to go to college. So I showed up to wrestle and found out that I needed better grades.
Fuck. Damn it. I didn't come
Yeah.
here to play school. The fuck are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. So Richard DeChatelet at the time was one of the coaches as well, and he was really the guy who really pushed
Yeah.
school and future and business, and then Marty really focused on wrestling, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think they were a good team in that sense. So Rich got me set up, got me in this program where I had to do a year of, I don't even know what these courses were, just to basically do like entry level courses that weren't even counting towards university. But then you pass all those, and then then that gets you into university. So the following year, and then I only wrestled 4 years university, and so I won nationals every year. What was what would that have been then? Probably 2001,
Yeah, makes sense.
2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. Yeah,
That makes sense.
those would be my years.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So then, when did you decide that the Olympics were like a realistic goal? Was there ever like a moment, or was it just like faith in your abilities? Was something else like, you're seeing success, you're getting the taste of success?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever. I honestly I haven't really lived much of a life of going after realistic goals. I think for the most part, every time I challenge myself for something, there's enough people there that say it's impossible or it can't be done or you shouldn't do that or too big of a risk, whatever. So like as soon as I really enjoyed wrestling and started actually competing, then immediately the dream was
Yeah,
to
it's right
be
then.
an Olympic champion. Like it didn't take long. As soon as I fell in love with the sport, that immediately my dreams and my fantasies were like the top.
Yeah.
No different than we would play pond hockey when I was a kid, and I would skate around there, late at night when everybody else was gone, trying to get better, like dreaming of being in the NHL. And when I would play football, I was dreaming of being in the NFL. Right? Like I didn't. I think my brain just kind of skips to
Yeah.
a place that probably shouldn't be.
We'll go right to the top. We'll fuck everything
Yeah.
else. Oh fuck. Yeah. Okay. Skip to the top. This goes, and then let's walk it back to then 2004. Let's walk it back to 2004. So you won the Olympic trials December of 2003. What's running through your head leading up to Athens?
I was still pretty young. I think I was 23, 22,
You were
23 at that
22
time.
in Athens.
Yeah. Um, and like the goal was to win, right?
Mhm.
Like I was already top 10 in the world. I had close matches with guys that were medaling. I had beaten world champions at this point, like at tournaments in Europe and stuff like that. So I'd been on the mat with guys that were best in the world, and I had beaten them or lost close. So I felt confident that I could win. But also, like that environment is different, right? So like it plays a role on you mentally to get there. So when you look, it's funny because I have a whole different respect now for people that are winning at the Olympics and world championships and stuff like that, because the ability to kind of close off everything, like the mental state you need to get to, and then also like luck plays a role, man. Like you got to do everything right. You got to stay healthy. You got to find like a long stretch to have that perfect balance of pushing yourself to the absolute maximum, but then not pushing so hard that you're injured and broken and worn out
Mhm.
when it matters, right? And I
Yeah.
think that was my biggest weakness is I could never figure out that balance in sports. I just
Mhm.
always overtrained, always did too much. People tried to hold me back, so I was always battling injuries. That would be like if I could go back and do it differently,
Mhm.
I think I'd have to throttle back. But then at the same time, maybe I wouldn't have had any success
Yeah.
throttled back because I wasn't the naturally gifted wrestler. I think I was the hardest worker. That was where I think that my gifts lied. I just outworked everybody.
Yeah. So you said like knowing what you know now, looking back to 2004, the respect thing has changed. What has changed then? From your perspective, knowing what you know now
Yeah.
to back then, what's changed?
Well, in hindsight, all of my issues were injuries,
Mm.
right? So
Even in
it,
2004.
yeah, 2004, I was dealing with injuries.
No,
Like I barely even made it to Olympic trials.
no.
I had like my ankle for the Olympic trials was taped like solid, like it was basically a brick for a right leg, you know.
Yeah.
So it like winning the Olympic trials was a bit of a stretch. Like
Mm.
I barely even made it there, right? And when I did, like I had a really bad sprain in my ankle to the point that like it was like 2 months leading up to Olympic trials. I wasn't jogging. Everything was on the bike. All of my wrestling was very much technique based, not very much live wrestling. So like the final 60 days to the biggest match of my life, basically
Mhm.
at that point was shit,
Yeah.
right? Um, did a lot of mental training and but I was not in my best shape because 60 days of not pushing yourself to the limit is not awesome,
Yeah.
right? So
So then what would that mental training aspect look like dealing with the injury you had
yeah.
leading up to Athens? What things were you focusing on mentally that you could control?
Uh, well, a lot of watching tape and
Hmm.
and trying to be a lot more strategic about how I was going to wrestle. I had a really good feeling of who I was going to be wrestling against, and at the time I was already number one in the country. I'd already won the national championships. I'd already qualified the weight class. I was top 10 in the world, so I got to sit and wait. There
Yeah.
was a whole tournament, and I basically had to wrestle the winner of the tournament and beat them 2 out of 3. So I had a pretty advantageous position. If I had to wrestle that tournament on that leg, I wouldn't have worked out
Yeah.
because I won 2 out of 3, and at one point in the match, I sprained my ankle again, like quite badly, and I it was halfway through the second match, and then after the match was over, like I limped off, and my ankle just absolutely blew up, and I could barely walk on it for 2 weeks. So like, had there been one more match,
Yeah.
I who knows what the outcome would have been,
Yeah. Been
right?
fucked.
Yeah. So, but that was my whole wrestling career. Like I always was injured. Like, I have no memories of going into a tournament where I'm like, fuck, I feel great. I can't
Yeah.
believe like this is awesome. And it was all because of overtraining. Always because like I was like one more rep, one more match, one more thing, and then it was always that one more when you're just overexhausted, you've done too much, that you end up injured,
Yeah.
right? So if I could have figured out a fine line to, but then it's like you're not the same person, right?
Yeah.
Because when I was wrestling, I won 90% of my matches against guys that were better than me, that were winning leading into the last minute. And
Yeah.
I was beating them in the last minute because I had trained myself to compete at the highest level possible while exhausted.
Hmm.
So like if I didn't train that way, I'd have less injuries. If I had less injuries, maybe I wouldn't have been the same competitor and I wouldn't have been able to beat people in that last minute. So I don't know, right?
Yeah. It's a
So
weird. It's the perspective, right? We don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. We don't fucking know. Um, do you think so stepping into 2004 in your first Olympic match, were you was that your best match? Was that your best match?
Oh no. No. And it's tough. And you know what? I lost a strategic battle. And they changed the rules after those Olympics
Yeah.
because of what happened in those matches.
Hmm.
So the there was at that time, if you stepped out of bounds, there was no penalty for it,
Yeah.
right? So what guys would do is they would get an early lead, and then they would ride out the end of the match by wrestling on the perimeter. And then
Yeah.
every time someone shoots and gets your legs, they step out of bounds, they get a break, they go back to the center.
Yeah.
So I had lost to the eventual bronze medalist, and he just basically ran around the perimeter of the mat, and he was up several points on me, and I just kept on taking him out of bounds. And then the very next year, they changed the rules to make sure that people didn't just run off the mat
Yeah.
to survive the end of matches like that. And like outcome could have been different, but the rules were what they were at the time.
Mm.
And I couldn't make the most of it. But his strategy was to get up early and then run around the perimeter to survive the end. And fucking hats off to him. It worked out, right?
Yeah. So then leading up to that, the night before, what were you thinking the night before your Olympic match? Like, what was like you talked about the mental aspect? What was
Yeah,
that?
it's
What was that night like before?
man, like the every world championships and Olympics is like you're just you don't get much sleep.
Mm,
You're up kind of all the bulk of the night, tossing and turning. Um, it was very rare that I got like a full night sleep,
mm,
uh, because your brain is like it's tough to shut it off, right? So you're trying to get as much sleep as you can, but in wrestling as well. Back then there was a lot more weight cutting as well, so you're kind of doing two things. You're trying to get as much food and liquids into your body, recover. I would wake up in the middle of the night to eat a whole meal and drink more fluids because at the time I was cutting 25, 30 pounds. So it was essential to get that next meal in. So you're kind of putting all these things together, right? Where it's
yeah.
like, okay, I got to wake up at 2 a.m. to eat an entire meal. Otherwise, when it comes time to wrestle, I won't have the energy and the fluids in me to actually be able to compete. And then the other part of it is that you're at that point you've weighed in, and as soon as you weigh in, within a couple hours, you knew who you're wrestling. So then you really start to focus. Okay, like I had a sense of who I might be wrestling, but
Yeah.
now you know. So then you're really starting to go over footage and video and stuff to be ready for that particular match and trying to come up with a game plan. It's an interesting sport for so many reasons. There's so many things that are thrown on you and so many things to kind of put together like last minute. But yeah, it's stressful. You're trying to manage the emotions of it all. Also, the Olympic Village is chaos. Wrestling is very close to the end of the Olympics, so it was easier to focus when you got there because everybody was focused.
Yeah.
And as the Olympic Games progresses closer to the end, like it's the opposite.
Yeah, everyone's getting fucked up.
It's total chaos. So it goes from this ultimate focus of everybody is like clean and proper, wearing their outfit. Everyone's doing all of their rituals. Everyone's all their superstitions are coming out. Like it's just like everybody's so serious, and it's all business. And then 3 days into the Olympics, you're seeing the people that aren't competing anymore.
Yeah.
And then as time progresses, and then like I said, wrestling is at the end of the fucking whole thing. So like you're looking around and it is like total chaos, party central. It's fucking loud. Like it's like you like the noises at night. You're in dorms, so it's like man, like all you hear is partying and yelling and screaming and everyone just having a fucking
Yeah, everyone's
blast.
envious.
Oh yeah, like holy fuck, I wish I competed at the beginning of this thing. So yeah, so you have to manage all of those things, and then your own emotions and then the people so there's a lot going on, but it was not it's different in that sense than every World Championships, but I had been to other games before and it was I feel like none of that really played a role. I felt good the next day, like it was very similar amount of sleep, very similar set like progression
Yeah, things
to
are
compete.
familiar.
Yeah, and then I felt good and competed and came up short. It was yeah, it is what it is.
Did you have like you know, outside stressors, maybe like family or relationship, whatever that kind of stuff? Did that play an impact, or like how did you manage that going into the Olympic Games?
Nothing too crazy. I think everybody like for like nothing like that would be enough to say that it mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the crazy part is that like I know all those guys and have competed against all those guys and could have beaten all of them, right? And but you gotta put it all together in like with zero errors, right? Like there's no room for anything. So
Yeah,
it's
makes sense. We were talking with River Lions. We just came back off a back-to-back championship, which we're very proud of. But we have like these preseason meetings, and Coach Vic is fantastic at this kind of stuff. We talked about, everyone talks about the process, but for us, it's like, well, when you define the process towards an elite goal, for us, it's like you're simply honing your process consistently well, adapting to objections that come up to simply reduce your likelihood of failure. Because two guys battling for Olympic gold final, someone has to lose.
yeah.
It's not that bad. You know what I mean? It's like a math exam. Like you got one thing wrong in the process, but you got the wrong answer. But it's like it doesn't disregard the work. You missed one step. Your likelihood of failure, your goal is to just minimize that window.
Yeah.
Right. But someone's gonna fall through it. It's just who and when and
Yep.
how big is that margin, right? So No, it's a good point to kind of make on that. Like it's I'm trying to tune in more like what was your process? What was all the stressors? Like all the things, how did you kind of manage all that? Especially because wrestling, like you're cutting weight, like it's so lonely.
Yeah.
It's literally like an individual sport. It's like the most fucking lonely fucking feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even guys in your own team, you're still practicing against them, training against them, competing against them, all that kind of shit, right? So what do you feel, if anything, did you sacrifice wrestling that you feel you'll never get back?
That I'll never get back?
Yeah. What do you feel you sacrificed for the sport that you will never get back? And again, this is we've talked to other guys about this shit. Sometimes it's friendship, sometimes opportunities.
Yeah.
Health obviously being a big one, right? But
Yeah.
there is a cost to these things.
Yeah. I don't. I've never even thought of that, and I would say I have no regrets there. I don't think anything was lost. Um, the only thing, like obviously physically, it takes a toll on your body, and so now like I live a different life than had I not done this sport.
Mm.
Like I have to be very cautious of a lot of things. So like I've had neck surgery. I've got issues with my knees and my lower back that like those are like probably in need of their own surgeries, right? And I've
Mm-hmm.
had surgeries on my arms and my face, my nose, like it's like my ears are fucked. Like this is a sport like a true warrior sport
Mm-hmm.
that wears you out, and like almost everybody who retires from this sport retires for one of two reasons, and one is that they 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 just don't like it and they're not getting the results they want, and you're just getting beat up, uh, or your body just is done, right? Like those are the reasons. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
nobody retires from that sport uh, for fucking any other reason. Like it's just like it, and so for me, it got to a point where you it's an age thing too, but you reach a point where um, I think back on it when I was young, and you would get injured, and it was like, oh, it was a sprain or a strain, right? And all those sprains and strains and little injuries start to compound into scar tissue and tighter joints and ligament issues and or looser, whatever it is. So then you get to this point where you're like this body like just barely held together, and then all of a sudden all your injuries are fucking huge,
Yeah.
right? So everything's a surgery, everything's 6 months to a year to recover from, and all of them are just absolutely mentally devastating because it's like everything's good, you feel great, you're pushing towards a goal, and then it's in an instant, it's fucked, and
Yeah.
it's just horrendous for 6 months to a year, right? And so that's what I really started to hate about the sport was at the end it was like, fuck, like I can't do this. And I also had reached a point too in my life where I had transitioned into business. So
Mm-hmm.
I was chasing two dreams simultaneously. And one of them, when you got hurt, was pulling me away from the other, right?
Yeah.
So chasing dreams in wrestling and you'd get injured and then you'd think, oh, that'll give you some time to focus on business. But it did the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
It took you away from business, it took you away from wrestling, and then your focus was just getting healthy. And it was like both dreams were struggling, right? So I don't regret any of it, but that's the thing that sport took was it took a piece of my life and my health, where it's like now, man, like I'm a cautious person now. I don't lift heavy weights. I have to like be way more controlled. I don't push the limits. Like if I go heavy, like a heavy squat or a heavy bench, like actually test out like my limits, like I'm a brick the next day
Mm-hmm.
because I got too many spinal issues that like the heavy weights just pinch nerves and shit like that. And so I would say I go heavier than the average person, right? Like I'm still lifting fairly heavy weight to maintain, but like everything is 6 to 10 reps, super controlled and just cautious,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I want to stay fit. I want to try and stay as young as I can for as long as I can and be healthy. But I'm more cautious than I probably would be if I didn't have this slew of band-aids on my body.
Yeah, being held together by fucking paper clips in our vans, man.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel, how do I say this? Do you feel like winning actually was ever satisfying? You know what I mean? Like,
No.
was there it is. It was a temporary hit before chasing the next one, essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Never. I have zero memories that are like truly like worth reflecting on.
It's a weird thing. It's like a quench you can't. It's like a thirst you can't quench.
Yeah, I also didn't achieve the goals that I had set out. Like I was, man, I was in the mix. Like I would beat world champions at tournaments, and then I would go to the world championships and just couldn't do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And some of my losses, like I had losses at the world championships that were just like fucking absolutely devastating, where I just shouldn't have lost, right?
It's like almost like a choke.
Yeah, like one in particular, like I just got fucked by the refs,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where I don't know if you remember this, but they really were pushing like for like counter wrestling and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you would shoot in on guys' legs and slam them on their back for like the cleanest fucking double leg slam, and they would just roll through with you and then
Yeah, they
launch
get
you
points
off them
there.
at the end, and they would get all the points,
Yeah.
right?
Like a
Uh,
continuation of their move.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That was fucking
yeah.
stupid.
So I had the one year I felt really good, man. Like I was healthy. I was like I was plowing through people in the quarterfinals, and then I took him down for two double legs right to his back, and he threw me through both times. And that one of the rules were if you get thrown twice for 3 points in a match, the match is over. So I was still winning,
You lost.
and I lost, and it was my move twice. So like, I don't even know how I got to that one. I hadn't even thought about that in fucking years. But I think what was the point we were on there? I lost track.
It's like winning, satisfying.
Oh yeah. So
Thirst can't quench.
But so like that's a great example. Like you asked me about winning, and I thought about losing, right?
Yeah.
Because I got all kinds of memories of how I didn't win.
Mhm.
And those are the things that keep you up at night. Those are the things that you think about and try and change, and you like really focus on. And it's not that I'm a negative person, because I'm like an ultra positive person.
Yeah, I don't think
I
it's
always
negative.
I always try and focus on the positive, but it's like the wins are so fleeting, because all of the wins are like a step
Mhm.
to the next thing, right? So you win nationals, okay, you win Olympic trials, all right. Then you get the Olympics, and then you didn't win that, so it's like fuck, back to the drawing board, and then
Yeah.
you're winning, trying to get to this like end goal. But then even if you win the end goal, like everybody who nobody ever like. I guess it does happen, but for the vast majority of people that win the world championships want to win the next world championships. They win the Olympics, they want to win the next Olympics.
Yeah.
And almost nobody does it. Almost everybody ends on a low, right? And you look at like Alexander Karelin. That guy fucking never lost ever, except for his very last match
Yeah.
of his life. And he lost at the Olympics, and that was it. He competed till he had one loss, and that's probably what he remembers.
Hmm.
Right? Like
Yeah.
and so I think you like everybody always says you learn more from your losses and your victories, but like I reminisce on like training. I reminisce on traveling with our team and our friends, and like our relationship, and like the relationships that we've built in this sport, and just like the adventures we went on. Like
Yeah.
when I think back on like it's hard to even think of a tournament and like the win without thinking of like the whole adventure,
Yeah.
right? Of what it took to make weight, and what it took to get there, and your training partners, and like the trips that we went on, and the camaraderie that we had, and then the before and after, and then the funny shit that happens.
Yeah.
Like the other thing with wrestling is like, man, it's like you're surrounded by retards all the time, because everyone's always cutting weight. So it's like everyone just makes the dumbest decisions constantly, because they're not eating food, they're not drinking water. We're traveling across the world. And it's like, they're just always like, I have thousands of memories of just the dumbest shit happening.
Yeah.
And primarily because like, I think it's a combination of things. Like we're athletes, and we're focused on one thing, and we're good at one thing. And so the rest of it just fucking falls apart. Our coaching staff was equally fucking dumb, right? Like it's just a bunch of other wrestlers that are supposed to be in charge of all these wrestlers traveling the world. Canada Wrestling doesn't have budgets for proper staff, right? So it's like a bunch of idiots not eating or drinking, traveling the world. Oh yeah, like I remember all of us like standing on the scale to weigh luggage to check our weights constantly. Like everywhere we went, we're like, and we got to be within like fucking millipound. Like it's like the whatever the fucking smallest thing. Like it's like we're all like checking our weight, and we're using these piece of shit scales for luggage, like they're actually truly accurate, like always. And then you get to the event, you're like, what? I'm 5 pounds heavy. I thought I was good. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like that's what I love about the sport. Like, man, the adventures we went on, the things that we did, the good and the bad, like being involved with other people winning, being involved with other people losing. Like all of that was just, that was amazing. It was like, there's no replacing that adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, time back to, for example, we just won the back to back, and we were talking to Coach Vic after, and he was like, the first one was exciting. He's like, the second one was a relief. He's like, now no team has ever done a three-peat in the history of this league.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like there's a new level of excitement again. But again, to your story, a lot of guys can, like, Carlin, for example, he was undefeated until his last match. Do you think it's better to go out on a fucking high to kind of say, okay, like that? You know what I mean? Like, do you stop there? Like,
Yeah.
why go to that Olympics and lose in the final?
Yeah.
Like, where do you draw the line? Say, get out while it's good. Like, it's almost like that fucking quote. Like, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or you die a hero. Which one are you going out with? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that like
when do you know?
in individual sports different because you are done eventually, right? Where like a team sport, like the team will change.
Yeah.
Right. So like with basketball, it's not like this is the last year the league is happening, right? So like there will be another year after this and another year after that, and this team will change and coaching staff will change and players will change. So like you still have to like you know what I mean? Like where with individual sports, you retire, right? And you can go out on top. You can make that decision. But with a team sport, you can't.
Yeah.
Right? Like this could be the year that they do the first ever three-peat. And then next year, guys leave, team blows up, guys retire, and then they have to go for a four-peat with a completely different fucking team.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a totally different, I guess, angle of even looking at it. Mm-hmm. Team sports are so different. But from like my perspective with being in an individual sport, I wasn't even given a choice. It was just, you just get to a point where you're like, this is not happening anymore. My body has like thrown in the towel.
Yeah. So then let's go to say 2007 when you're fucked up neck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you fucked up your neck, what stopped you from just killing it there? Because again, you fucked up your neck.
Oh yeah.
You tried for 2000. You're against Gentry at 1.2, and then you had surgery, and then crazy story. I think it was 2014. You won the Nationals against. You beat Cleo.
Yeah.
You ran through Sean Day, and then you ended up going to the Worlds with your wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what the fuck made you say, "Hey, I'm just gonna get my fucking cervical vertebrae fused together," and then I'm gonna try it again?
Yeah, I think just it goes back to being like not super smart, but at the time, you also like love it so much, and it's all you know, and it's a dream too. Like you're just chasing something that you want so bad that all of the consequences are not even relevant. Like you're not even thinking about consequences. Like when I had that neck surgery, the doctor was like, "Fuck, it's a miracle that you can function as like a human being at all." Mm-hmm. It's like most people that have this level of injury can't even like function at all. They have to be on so much pain medication, so much muscle relaxants. They're basically fucking vegetables until they have their surgery. And I still worked. I was running a construction company, and I would have times where I was at work and like I just hit the nerve the wrong way, and I would fall down on the ground and lay there for 2 or 3 hours. And I would have guys at work be like, "Hey man, do I need to call somebody or do something?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm good. It'll pass. Just give me a minute." And like like that's how fucking bad it got. And then when I had the surgery, the doctor, like the after the surgery was like, "Fuck it." He's like, it was a disaster in there. He's like, there were so many issues that we had to deal with, and he's like you have bigger issues like below and above the fusion that are going to be much bigger problems in the future because now there's exponentially more pressure on those vertebrae. So he's like, you cannot compete in sports like ever again. Like he's like, it's solid and I've got this thing bolted together, but he's like, I'm telling you, like you are not to compete in sports again. And I was like, holy fuck, like that's not a good thing to wake up to, right? Like there was a lot more optimism going into the surgery that people come out of these surgeries and compete again. But after the surgery, he gave me like a stern warning, like you're done sports. And so like I really struggled with that. And the recovery from that surgery was, like a full 6 months. of very little of anything, and then followed by 6 months of rehab and kind of rolling back into sport. That was what would have been like the standard protocol, I guess. But I was back like in the gym like 30 days later. I couldn't
Yeah.
couldn't stay away, and I was just trying to be cautious. I didn't wrestle for probably 3 months, I would say 3 or 4 months, but I was very cautious with what I did, and then I just completely reinvented the way I wrestled. I was like much more of a grinder before, where I was just constantly shooting, and leading with my head always, and then I just said, "Fuck it, I can't do that anymore. I gotta be a different wrestler."
Mhm.
So I completely invented the way I wrestled. I became more of a like a thrower, and still was aggressive with my hands, but still a grinder in that sense. But then a lot more looking for countering other people's moves, right? So I'd let
Mhm.
people in on my legs and try and find ways to score from there and scrambles and stuff. So just like completely different style of wrestling, which when you're that far into a sporting career to just reinvent the wheel,
Yeah.
like it'd be like a fucking complete bruiser in hockey who has 300 penalty minutes a season and has a fight every second game, having surgery and coming back as a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what I did
That was
in,
bored.
in that sport. So it was yeah, it was quite the transformation. I just focused completely different style of wrestling, and it worked out. I ended up winning a couple more national championships, going to worlds, but then I missed I missed the next Olympics with another injury, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
fuck, like you still gotta find a way to stay healthy, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let's switch up the gears here a little bit. So now you also were coaching your wife when
Yeah.
she won the first world title in 2012.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of balance being her coach, but also like her partner, essentially?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just rolling with the punches. Like
Mhm.
there wasn't much strategy there. In the wrestling room, I was just focused on wrestling, and then outside of the wrestling room, tried to have a relationship that was somewhat healthy.
Something like that. There's not a playbook for this one, is
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Like women are naturally, they just like, well, from my perspective, from what I've seen in my time coaching women, because obviously I was assistant coach at Brock for a while, and I coached both men and women there.
Yeah, I think when I came in 2010, I think you were still the assistant coach.
Yeah,
I think. I can't remember.
women need a different style of coaching. Like it's just that's what I've found from it. Like they need a lot more positive enforcement. Well, the ones I coached, I guess there'll be women listening to this saying that I'm an asshole, but she needed more positive enforcement, and that wasn't my style. And Marty, like I came from being coached by Marty,
Yeah, we all
who
did, yeah.
who like had very little positive reinforcement. Right, he was a very negative, like in your face. That's wrong, change it. That's wrong, change it. That's wrong, change it. And then when it was right, it was like, you get like a grunt, right? So it's like that grunt was like as good as a fucking applause, right?
If you watch it,
So
you'd be pissed off. You'd be pissed off at me, man. You'd be fucking
yeah,
mad.
but we
Oh,
didn't.
shit.
Yeah, but man, like that was the style of coaching that I was attracted to as well.
Yeah, it's not a
So-
bad thing. I mean,
so,
like
like,
some people respond
he-
to that. I
yeah,
think a lot of
it
us
was-
responded to that style of coaching.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's why we all
Yeah.
went there, essentially, right? Like, not not to bash. It's like if
Yeah.
it worked, like
Yeah.
hate it all you want, but it worked. Like,
Yeah.
we did have a good run.
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
know?
like Brock won more national championships than any university ever,
Exactly.
and I think any sport.
Exactly.
So Marty's arguably like there's a solid argument that he's the best wrestling coach in Canadian history.
Yeah, there's a very firm argument.
So and the only reason that there would even be an argument is that there's two other coaches that have some good results as well.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like he's top 3.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like did he do something, was he right or was he wrong, or can you argue with his style of coaching? You can't. Like it
Yeah.
fucking works. There's only two other coaches I can think of that are truly in a space of an argument to be like, who's the best? And that's based on results, and that's it. Like, fuck, you don't get to have that. Like, it's so. It is what it is. I think as time progresses too, there's all this like movement to coddle people and their feelings and things like that.
Yeah.
So like, and that kind of went too far too. So
Yeah.
I think there's a mix of things there. But as far as me coaching Jess, I would say the biggest thing was even like I actually had to make when I knew that I was going to say something negative, I had to find like 2 or 3 positives to build up to the negative. right?
Like a shit sandwich.
So yeah, like I intentionally when I was coaching guys, I most definitely didn't do that,
Yeah,
right?
fuck you.
Yeah. The other thing too is that coaching men in the room, like as soon as practice was over, that guy could go home and fucking hate me, right? And I didn't give a shit. Whereas with Jess, I had to manage life after, right? So I would
the car ride.
yeah. So I'd tear into her for fucking having a shit day, and then like, she wouldn't make dinner. So
this is me or you?
So like that's where it was like, man, I got to manage this a little bit better. I wasn't relying on the rest of the guys on the team to make me dinner and have a good after practice life.
So how's practice?
Yeah,
What do you
exactly.
think? How's your day?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it got to a point where I refused to coach her, like because it was just too much. And I was like, hey, you need to fucking like leave this shit in the gym.
Yeah.
Like we have to be two different people. Like this can't be what happens. You can't carry over that you don't like what I said to you in practice. Like we're chasing the absolute pinnacle of this sport. I'm your coach.
Yeah.
Like you don't have other choices unless I just fucking stop coaching you and you just get coached by someone else. Like you have to it is what it is. Also, this is a sport, both men and women, that belongs to the toughest people in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like this isn't a sport for being a pussy and not being able to take some criticism.
Yeah.
So that was something that we had to battle through. We had our ups and downs for sure. I don't think it ever was in a position to end a relationship, but it definitely put us in a position where there was strain on our relationship.
Yeah.
So,
again, it's a high pressure situation.
Yeah.
Again, you're striving for what less than 1% of the 1% ever will likely achieve.
Yeah.
And I think, going back to the coaching style that came out of that room, there was a certain archetype that gravitated towards it. You know what I mean? At least from my experience, like there's a certain archetype of person or character of person that would resonate with that style of coaching. But I think that goes with any university or any team, right? Like kids have options or don't have options. They tend to gravitate towards a style or philosophy, what do you want to call it, that kind of clicks with how they receive feedback and how they can better apply it. Like there's some coaches that also have a success that are not nearly as maybe aggressive as the Brock room was, right? Yeah,
we also it was very rare. Very, very rare for someone to come out of our system and lose matches for being like too tired or quitting.
Yeah.
Right. Like so, and that was well known that like when people saw on the draw sheet they were wrestling someone from our club, they were in for a battle.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't matter who it was. You show up, and that was another thing too. Is that like. When we had people in that room, like some guys in the room were worse than the coaches for sure at getting those people out of the room. It was either like when people were like the weak link in the herd.
Yeah.
They took really bad beatings in practice to either toughen up and be one of us or leave. Because I didn't want to be represented by looking out there on my team with quitters and babies.
Yep.
Right. It was a reflection on me as a teammate that like, fuck, that's embarrassing. Right.
Yep.
I don't want to be a part of that. And so we had lots of guys that when they came early on had skills and gifts and had all the potential in the world, but they were pussies and we pushed them hard. And some of them quit. Some of them became tough, good wrestlers. But there's other clubs that is not what to expect. Right, you'd see someone come from Montreal, and some guys from Montreal were brawlers. Some guys from Montreal were tougher. Some guys from Montreal were just very slick. Right, they came from more of that Russian training background where it was like you had to watch out for big moves, the shoulder throws, the inside leg trips, the hip toss, over unders. Like they were catching you on these slick moves that were big 4-pointers, and it was very difficult to come back. Right, because you're down 6, 7, 8, nothing after 2 moves, and it's like fuck.
Yeah, where'd they come from?
Yeah, like how do you?
What happened here?
What now? Right. So, but that also was very rarely. We didn't have a lot of guys come from our room. That was their deal. Right. We'd grind you down and take 1 point at a time, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Like it was a fucking wild ride. It was a wild ride. Like I said, like I think it was a certain person that gravitated towards the room, and then like I have a hard time picturing anyone that came out of that room had like a taste of success that is not doing well in their own thing anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fuck, like think about it. So let's transition out. So then what was the hardest part, do you think, of changing paths from coaching and wrestling to now stepping into your business?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's the same. So the biggest thing with success in wrestling was sacrifice and consistency, right? Like you had to consistently show up, put in more, like, and I know, like with wrestling, I often trained in secret because our competitors were right there in the room.
Yeah.
And at one point, like me and Cleo and Ryan were 1, 2, 3 in the country. So all three of us are chasing the same dream, all with the same goal, right? And we're in the same room, and me and Ryan lived in the same house at one point, and like want the same fucking outcome.
Yeah.
All three of us go to bed and have the same dreams, right? So then it was like, well, I didn't want them to see what I was doing or know that I was like, I would wake up super early and go and work out and try and like go to the gym and come back to the house before people knew I had left, right? So I'd go to 24-hour gyms at fucking 3 a.m., try and get in a workout. Like it's so stupid. Like it's not good for sleep and recovery or anything, but it was, I'm sneaking in an extra training session,
Yeah.
right? Where guys wouldn't know that I was doing it. We would have like times where we'd go and party and like the whole team was there and everyone was drinking and stuff like that. And I would literally pretend that I was drinking. I'd like pour out drinks and like fill it with water in the bathroom and shit like that because I wanted to be a part of it all and have people think that like I was getting drunk and like then they would.
Yeah.
And then I'd be one up, right? And then I was.
It's a crazy strategy.
Oh, fuck.
It's going to get fucked up. You're just fucking pouring the shots out.
But like.
I'm so hungover. Me too, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I feel it.
But it was, man, like it was always trying to do one more than your competitors. And it was a little bit easier in that sense because at that period, the main competitors were right there.
Yeah.
I could see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more rep. I'm going to push myself a little harder. I'm doing another session in the gym. I'm going to go and do this. Like, so that was like for a period. So like it, but that was everything. It was like being diligent, being focused, and just doing more than the competition. And then transitioning into business, it's very similar. Like it's easy. I hear it all the time in our business that people are like, no, it's my time. It's my space. I don't take business calls after 5 p.m. It's my time. It's my space. I'm on vacation for this 7 days. My phone's off. And like, for me, I'm like, I'll take those phone calls. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you're not taking calls after 5, fuck, I'm boosting my ads after 5, right? Like and man, we go on vacations and we are working. Yeah. Like it's, man, you can like in today's environment with what we do, you can lay on a beach and close business. Like what better than that? Like when you go on vacation, it costs 10, 20, 30 grand to go away. And if you can make back 10, 20, 30, 50K while you're there, like fuck. So I am always working. And there has never, ever, ever been a time when I was wrestling where I fucking hated it. Like I was always chasing a dream. I always loved every minute of it. I always was like just the thought never occurred to me that like, oh, I hate this. Oh, this is hard. Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It was like I want this so bad.
Yeah.
Right. And when you're wrestling too, you're fucking broke.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Is that's not a sport that ever pays well. Like there is no rainbow at the end of it all. It's not like I'm going to make the big show and get paid. It doesn't happen. So like you're literally chasing a dream for you that it's like, this is so hard and I just want it. And then in business, the beauty of it is there is a rainbow there. Yeah. So it's so hard. It's so competitive. It's stressful. And the only way to succeed in business is to take big chances, at least in my business. Like we're in the real estate world of, building stuff and leveraging assets and, taking big risks on development, but then we're also selling real estate and managing people. And then we have the plumbing company as well, which is a totally different construction world. But it's like everything that we do comes with risk, and the way that we succeed is just through the exact same rules in succeeding in sport. It's putting your nose down, showing up every day, doing more than the competition, doing your best always, and doing it with a fucking smile on your face. right? And there's plenty of days where like I don't sleep at night. No different than the World Championships, no different than the Olympic Games, no different than any other dream that you'll chase. Like if you're chasing something worth having, something that really truly challenges you, you will lose sleep. And it will be difficult. And there's days where you'll be like, fuck, can I do this? And it's worth it. When you get there and you win, like it's worth it. But the saddest part is like the wins are fleeting because like the journey's where it's at. So you get there and it's like, fuck, what's next, right?
Yeah.
And I don't regret any of it, business or sport. And right now, man, we're in a fucking valley in business. Like business is tough right now. New construction's way down, and that feeds our country. Like the residential, new construction market, condos, things like that. Like man, that feeds this country, and it's like on pause. So there's less money out there. Banks are tightening up. There's a lot of bankruptcies happening. Like it's a grind. And if you want to succeed right now, like fuck, put your nose down and get after it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do every day right now. It's crazy how hard I work. I work harder now than fucking ever. And it's in every business. Real estate is more work and more effort. We used to sell houses. All of the work to sell a house in real estate for probably 5 years straight was landing the listing.
Yeah.
Like you land the listing, sold. Like there was no work in selling it, right? So you just go out there, hustle, meet people, get referrals, and then you're like, hey, sign the listing, boom, put it on MLS, gone, right? Rockstar sold, right? This thing has switched on a dime. Now getting a listing means nothing. It is an absolute grind to sell a house. You got to be priced bang on or it's not going nowhere. Too low, you're screwing your client over. Too high, it's sitting there forever. Marketing, like we are doing way more marketing than we ever have to get these properties noticed and sold. And then when you got a chance to put a deal together, the person who's interested in buying the house has 100 options.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, you get like a second to close that deal. And that asshole who says, I don't answer my phone after 5 p.m. is losing all his deals to me. Because I answer my phone at fucking 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't matter. My phone rings, I'm answering it. What? You got a house to buy? You want a house to sell? Like something to do? What do you have to? Need a plumbing job done? Like, come on, tell me what's up. I'm there. Like now is not a time to be lazy. Like and that's probably the saddest part about business is it goes in waves, right? Where those are uncontrollable waves. Where in sport, the waves I think you did to yourself, right? Like it was injuries, it was, your own mental battles, things like that. Like those are the waves you did them, right? Whereas in business, like the atmosphere changes, the environment changes, the game changes, and you're fucking riding the wave trying to figure out a way to adapt. Right now, we're working our fucking asses off. It's as hard as it's ever been.
Yeah. So where does it end, essentially? Right? Like, because we talked about winning was like a thirst you can't quench. Like, there's always the next thing, the next thing. You look back and you reflect on it. It was actually it was all the things that led up to that thing. It wasn't even the victory or the loss. Yeah. So where does this end? You know what I mean?
Well,
like, the philosophy is simple, right? You work harder longer, you're bound to be more successful than the other guy. That's just, putting a little bow on what you just said, essentially, right?
Yeah, so now it's, it's interesting. So,
like, what is going to satisfy you?
I don't know, to be completely honest, but there are things that are changing the game. So we've got 2 kids now. Our son's 4, daughter's 8. Ella's, as an 8-year-old, she's starting to have her own desires, right? She's starting to have her own, like, heart and, like, chase her own things and care about stuff. Yeah. And so she's competing quite a bit in gymnastics and horseback riding, and she was figure skating, and now it's like, okay, well, it's too many things, right? So she has to make a choice because gymnastics now is like 4 to 6 days a week, right? And then off mat training and everything else. So it's like, so she's really, really focused on that, and it's like she could do the most. Like she's winning these little competitions for kids, and like that is like the feeling you get as a parent for that is like heads and tails more than you'll get from fucking everything else, right? So watching your kids grow and start to like develop into something and have their own dreams and goals makes me think that like those are the places that got, man, I won't leave work for nothing. And then my daughter has a track meet for when she was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, and like I'm out. Like I don't. She got to play at school, right? Like it's like work doesn't matter,
So you turn your
right?
phone off at 5 now, eh?
No, I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off for a 2 hour window
It's on silent for
and
2 hours.
catch that. Yeah. No, I still. You know what? To be fair, my phone still rings. I'll put it on silent for a play or something like
Yeah.
that. But like if we're at a track meet, like it's still ringing. I'm still making things work. Like I'm afraid of missing like work because customers are ruthless. They'll move on to the next thing, especially today. Like today, the world is so cold that like your customer base is gone in a heartbeat. Like you got to always be there for them. So you want to be successful in business, like sacrifice, work harder than the other people around you, do more than everybody else is doing, and do the right thing for your customer so they brag about you. But that's across the board. That's the way that we run our businesses, and it's done well. But I think for me, family is starting to like really draw at me for like recognizing, okay, what is enough? What is it that I want? What's the finish line for me? What does retirement look like? Is there a retirement plan? Like, because I've never really I just thought I'd work forever. I love working. I love what I do. Like we just hustle, make deals, meet people, do cool things, meet cool people. Like our business is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's rare that I look at it and think of it as work or business. But because we're in this valley right now where it's a grind, you start to look at it differently. You're like, fuck, this is work. This is tough, right? So what's the end goal? I don't know. I don't know if there's a future for me where I lie on a beach in my latter years, but we just started Platinum Medicine, the private medicine side of things, which is a big part of that, right? Like after Michelle died, that really opened my eyes to like, holy fuck, like, you look at someone like that, she was healthy, training for the Olympics, and boom, stage 4 cancer, like snuck up on her basically, and like there's nothing she could do to beat it, right? And it's like, so there's a lot of things as you get older because life has seasons. Like sports was like fucking so awesome, but it's fleeting, and there just comes a day where it's like done, season over, and then you get this next portion of life that's business, and like where does that end? But kids was kind of like a line in the sand that changed business because I used to come home every night, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. And there was a time when Ella was probably like, man, I'd have to say she was probably around like 1, pushing 2 years old, still quite young, and old enough that she was moving around and talking a bit. And Jess gave me shit because it was like, I don't know, for like a month, I just didn't get home any night. I left before everyone woke up, and I got home and everyone was in bed, right? And then she was like, you haven't seen your family in a month. Like you need to change what you're doing or you're not going to have a family basically, right? So that was a real eye opener for me because I didn't even realize it. I was just fucking hustling, making money, providing for my family, and forgot to be a family, right? Yep. So then that's the other thing too. It's like you still got to find balance and find time to be a good parent and be there and enjoy like those moments because as kids get older, it happens fast, and I fucking love every second of these kids. Like they're just, everyone always says like it goes by so fast. Enjoy it. And you think like everyone says that, and then you look back and Ella's 8, right? And so I'm trying to enjoy a bit more of Vaughn, who's 4, because he's like not a baby now, but he's got like this. He's cool.
Yeah.
Right. Like he does cool stuff. He's fun, and he's like making jokes. He's being like a bit of a shit too. Like he causes like a disturbance and like loves to like mess with people, and so it's fun, man. Like it's like I'm trying to enjoy that too. So it's a journey, and everything is cut up in these pieces where it's like they're fleeting. So with like the health aspect now, I have kind of this fear of going into like older age, right? Like my next birthday's 50. That matters, right? I'm in my mid 40s, and the next milestone is going to be 50. That's scary. So I think like I'm still staying pretty young for my age. I make an effort to stay active. I eat well. Like stress is definitely probably more than it should be. But now with this Platinum Med, like a big part of it is longevity. I can like stretching these good years, the pause button. Like we're looking into all kinds. Like I'm looking at everything, everything from like your hormone levels and peptides and like vitamins, and we do custom IVs. Like I take an IV now like almost every month, depending on like the how my levels are. But like I haven't been sick since I started doing that. It's been a year, no illnesses. So it's like now I'm doing all these little things and being super cautious with other things. And the goal now is like better, longer years with my family and stuff, but still work a lot. So I don't have like a really good answer for what what the plan is, but
Well, I think again, that's the life you chose.
mhm.
But I think that's the cost of the life you chose, right?
Yeah,
And there are seasons to it, like you said. And the cost is too is like we were talking with another guest too about, you have to have a good partner, spouse, whatever, that understands that life. Because again, they have their own shit that they want to do,
yeah,
right? If you don't have that supportive person at home, because again, like you're giving up a lot and you're doing things for you, it's a very selfish endeavor as it should be. But they pick up the slack, or they're going to be left with something. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So it's almost like they have to get the recognition too, and be like, that at some point will have to change because now you have a family, right? Like you can't get home late. I don't have no experience, but just getting home late now. If I ever had kids, fuck, I don't know what the
yeah,
hell I do. But I get home like 8 o'clock right now. Starting in a couple weeks, it'll be 9 o'clock, and we're
yeah,
having dinner at 9, and she's working too, and then gets home and has to do all this shit that I don't do, right? But like, why
yeah,
do I get to live this life where I'm busting my ass? But she's also busting her ass to do stuff. Like without her, I wouldn't be able to do the things I'm doing now,
yeah,
right? To the same degree. But there's at some point there's going to have to be a shift if you have a family. So then it's like, okay, that's the cost,
yeah,
right? Like you have to understand that there's a cost. It's no different than competing in sport. What did we give up to chase these very lofty ambitions? Like who got left behind? What did we miss that maybe we can't get back? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like how many weddings did we miss? How many fucking or birthdays or life milestones that we couldn't do it because selfishly we're chasing our own fucking thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the cost.
Yeah, in every avenue I've ever been in, the biggest sacrifice has been friendships. I lost all kinds of friendships over the years just by not being a good friend, not being there for friends, not going to birthday parties, not going to the bar on the weekends, not going out for a beer, not going to the game, right? So you build relationships with people, and then they invite you to enough things, and you say no enough times that they
Yeah.
stop getting invited, right? Like but that's the reality of everything. When it was wrestling, the sacrifice was I can't go do those things because I'm focused, and
Mhm.
I got to get up early and I got to train. When in business, it was that man. There's only so many hours in the day, and there's not enough of them to be drinking with you. Like not in like an asshole way, but
No,
like
that's just how it is.
it is what it is. Like here's my hours. I'm chasing a dream. And then now it's combining the two things of chasing a dream and raising a family and being there for your kids and actually being there for those moments. Because with wrestling, I have an infinite number of memories of moments that like I wouldn't trade for the world. And all of them were in the process of chasing that dream. I already have plenty for business. And, you know, business memories will never ever be worth like one memory of my daughter winning a ribbon at a 6 year old's fucking sack race. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what they're doing. Like the track and field they do is like they throw a tennis ball as far as they can. They velcro their legs together and do a two-legged race where they got to hop, and then they run like 50 meters and like a running long jump in the sand. And it's all these like everybody's like 4 to 6 years old, and it's literally hilarious. Half of them haven't even learned how to throw a ball yet,
Yeah.
or like it's and like I wouldn't miss it for anything. It's the best, right? And it's the same now. Like as her gymnastics is getting like good, like the level of
Yeah.
competition with these 8 year olds, it's like holy shit, like they're doing stuff,
Yeah.
right? And Vaughn's playing hockey now 3 days a week. I go to all his hockey games, all of his practices, and it's like pretty low level stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. But satisfying.
it'd be easy to miss that. But those are man, like those are it's crazy. Like you watch them do those things, and you're like, this is the best,
Mm.
right? And it's um, those things that like that's probably the toughest balance right now is to chase my dreams and be there for theirs. Is a balance that's going to be tough. And as they get older, like I can just imagine, like if one of them really truly gets passionate in what they're doing, the level of sacrifice that'll take, right? Because then,
Hmm.
like, I'd want to be there for that.
Yeah. So then we'll wrap up with this then. So what do you feel is missing in today's version of competitive sports, whether it's at the youth level, the university level? Um, are we in a better place than we were in the early 2000s or 2010s, whatever it might be? Um, where are we at with youth sports in your mind? Like, what kind of advice would you give, if you want to say it, that to kind of tell the next person coming up who has the
Yeah,
same lofty ambitions, wants to achieve what less than 1% of the 1% will likely get the experience to achieve?
yeah. Well, I think there's an unfortunate truth with sports that like genetics are important.
That's a reality.
Um, yeah, so
That's a
it's
fucking reality, man. You
yeah,
can't teach tall. Sorry, man. You can't
yeah,
teach tall.
yeah. So like it's you're but of the people that have been given the enough genetic gift to be in the world of sports at the highest level, like it's the answer is sacrifice and commitment and consistency. Like it's that is like one of the things and strangely enough the most gifted athletes are rarely the ones that are the best at that, because things came easy, too easy for all their youth, so they didn't build that grit, that work ethic. But that's it, man. Like it's, and we see it all the time with young kids. Like, fuck, like these cell phones are you know, I'd love to see them shut the internet off for like 5 years just to get a restart. You know, because it's like
How do you
it's
survive?
well, you can still have cell phones and text messaging,
Yeah, let's bring
but
back the
like
flip phones.
yeah, but
SMS
it
texting.
but it's people are obsessed, man, and it's
Yeah.
like so. Um, I think it's we're in a time of such distraction that it like how do you really get focused? And if you're driven and you love something and the passion's there, like you should be able to like tune it out and just be like in the zone and just sacrifice and be like steady and just commit to those goals. Like this is what I'm doing and just do it. Right?
Yeah.
Like you can't miss a workout, you can't miss a practice, you can't miss and mentally you got to be focused. Like it's man, the details are everything.
Yeah.
I remember like overanalyzing every little fucking thing, and especially in the end when I was trying to be more technical. It was like I wish my brain was focused that way when I was younger,
Yeah.
but it took some maturity to recognize that
Hmm.
the details matter as much as they do. But you got to love it so much that you're willing to just give up everything.
Yeah. No, but I think it's like it's almost like trying to put a face to that kind of word, because again, it is thrown out a lot. Discipline, work ethic, sacrifice, and kids and parents think they're doing those things,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know what you don't know. So it's like, for us, again, I don't know if you've actually listened to the show, but if you ever listen to the episode where we talked to Coach Kitch, he's like, it's real simple. It's like, if you're 6 foot at 13, you're going to play really high level basketball just because you're 6 foot. What made you good at 13, though, is not going to keep you good at 16. What made you good at 16 is not going to make you good at 19 or 20. What makes you good at 20 is not going to make you good at the next level after that. You almost like start to peel back more layers to get to the specific. You have to earn the right to become specific with how detailed you have to be,
Yeah.
right? So, but again, that also requires sacrifice. Like you could be 16 years old. I don't know. Let's use weightlifting as an example. You have short limbs. You could probably squat 300 pounds, no problem, on any given day. But also, you want to get to 400 pounds. Okay, now you have to actually have a pretty strict training regimen. You want to get from 400 to 500 pounds. Now you have to train at the same time. You have to watch what you're eating. You have to fucking warm up the right way, the same way. You have to like cater to the fucking stars align so you can hit the. So you start to split the hair more finely to actually get the highest level of achievement possible. But what does that look like? What's the name to it? Because they're just words that people throw out there, and we try to help parents understand this too. It's like, you're going to be along for the ride. These kids can't drive yet at 15 or 16, and then they have to do. Like, there's almost like you have to just do those things. It takes what it takes. Like you can kick and scream. You can do everything right. You can't push a baby out in 3 months as much as you'd like to. It's going to take 9 months. It doesn't matter what you think or feel or how you do everything. It just takes what it takes to do those things. But again, I think they like the words. Like it's almost an ideal. It's very romantic. Oh yeah, hard work, discipline, da 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 da
Yeah.
da. But then when push comes to shove, it's like you don't just snap your fingers and become a hardworking person. You don't just snap your fingers and become a disciplined person. I firmly believe it's like you're presented with opportunities to work hard. You're presented with opportunities to be disciplined. What you decide to do in that moment is going to dictate if you are disciplined or not,
Yeah.
versus just saying the fucking word and thinking it's a thing. I showed up one time, I checked the box. Look, I'm disciplined. It's like, no, that was one time. That was an opportunity to show discipline. Tomorrow's another opportunity to show discipline. Next day is an opportunity to sacrifice. Well, what are you giving up? What's the sacrifice you're giving up today?
Yeah.
Like, what pound of flesh are you giving up?
Yeah.
Right? They're just fucking words, but no one, it's very romantic.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're already seeing that with our daughter, where she's got to miss a birthday party, got to miss a sleepover, got to miss this because she's competitive in her sport. But one thing that I think would actually, like, they do this with gymnastics. In the beginning, I really didn't like it because they're really young and she's training 3 times a week, 4 hours per session. So it's like, I could never focus for more than 2 hours. Like 2 hours was an infinite amount of fucking time when you're pushing yourself, right? So it's like, what are they doing for this 4-hour window? They're not training, right? These kids are too young to be pushing for half an hour, let alone 4 hours. So what's happening? But then in hindsight, I actually like what they're doing because what they're doing is they're building consistent behavior with these young kids. And as time progresses, they'll increase the load. So they're used to showing up. I'm at the gym for 4 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I have to do weight training Sunday, right? So this is what they do. And when they're young, maybe the load isn't much because it can't be. But as they get a little bit older, it'll get more intense and the load will increase. And as they build their own true like grit and grind, and the kids that pull away from the pack have already built this consistent behavior that I show up to the gym for 12 hours a week and I do these things. And then on top of it, we work out with our kids. We take them for runs. We do, like, we just did the Terry Fox run. And Ella had a goal set that she was going to do it under 30 minutes, 5K. So she ended up doing it in like 29:30, like just barely broke her goal. But we're standing there, like getting ready to go, and Vaughn starts having a meltdown that he's not in the race. Huh. He's like, I want to run. And I was like, man, like it's 5 kilometers. You're 4 years old. Like this isn't happening. I'm not carrying you back. And he was having a meltdown. So I'm like, fuck it. Like here's a lesson for Vaughn. That this is not a short distance. He's not going to finish it. But like, I can't say no. He wants the challenge. He wants to do what his sister's doing. We'll do it. Fucking kid ran the whole thing. 5K.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was he finished it in, I think, 42 minutes.
Not bad. It's not bad. A little strides, you know what I mean? Like fucking little
He was
strides.
pushing me.
Yeah. Like son of a bitch.
But we're raising our kids to be winners. We're pushing them. We're teaching them to sacrifice. And, they're competitive. You need to be competitive. You got to, everything, I grew up, everything was a competition, and my dad rarely let us win. And he was hilarious. He would have foot races, and he would cheat and trip you and push you over. And so we built this, and then me and my brother fed off of it, right? So then I wanted to beat my brother, and then my sister wanted to be in the game. And so there was this environment in my house where winning mattered. Played a board game, people lost, they slammed the board around the room or whatever. And it was good, healthy competition. Like people, we grew up in a house where we didn't want to lose. So I'm trying to create that same atmosphere in my house where my kids are competitive and want to win and want to feel that joy and have pride in what they do and get to go walk around, like fucking hold your head up high that like I do things.
Yeah.
Right. Like I have a purpose in life outside of just being one of the sheep. Like I do other things and I'm special. Right. And it gives people self-confidence and, a reason to show up and be something. Right. And the reality is that like there's so many fucking people on this planet. Like to be in the top 10 in the world, to be a world champion, to be Olympic champion, to be the NHL hockey player, NFL football player, like chances are low. Right. But like chasing that dream, actually like putting in the time, actually like legitimately feeling the fucking heartbreak of not doing it and sacrificing everything to be there, like that will pay dividends forever. Right? The ability to pick yourself up off the ground after the most agonizing defeat ever. Like my biggest losses are what get me through the toughest time in business. Because I just think back on them about like the pain and the scars and the tough times in life that I managed to push through in sport. I'm like, fuck, I can do this in business. So it creates character. It creates it's what makes it's the sport is what's made me what I am. Mm-hmm. All of my success in business is from every little detail in sport, even coaching. My biggest loss ever was watching Jess lose the Olympic trials, and then It was just absolutely devastating. It was the only loss that, like, I literally went at the airport into a bathroom stall, locked the door, and fucking sobbed. Like, I just, like, we did everything right, and it, like, just didn't work out, and I just was, like, crushed and just broken because it was like, fuck. And then we changed some little things, got focused, put our head down, like, just did all the hard work, did everything right, and the next year won the world championships, and is one of 5 women in Canadian history to be a world champion. You know, and that result was impossible without the absolute agony of the biggest and worst and most devastating defeat of life.
Mhm.
It was the worst because it was just so unexpected, and just like we just thought that we did everything right, and she was gonna win, and she didn't. And then 12 months later, she's a world champion. You know,
Mhm.
and so it's the same with everything in life. Like, if you're not willing to put it on the line and just feel like absolute fucking, like, tragic defeat, you'll never ever experience, like, the joy of accomplishing something worth accomplishing.
It's the man in the arena.
Yeah.
You have a purpose. That's the man in the arena.
Yeah.
Right. You accept the risk of loss.
Yeah.
You have to accept the risk of loss. Right?
Yeah.
So, damn, that was a good way to end it. Fuck. Good shit. All right, guys. That was fucking in depth. This is Performance Matters Podcast. You can reach us. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe, share with your friends. We'll see you all next time.